probably should put a tinfoil hat on for this episode because I might blow some minds. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And Genshin Impact is the latest game that is being attacked potentially by the DEI mafia, because right now there is a petition on change.org that has garnered nearly 75,000 signatures as of the time of recording this, and most likely based off the trajectory it's going, it will be well past that by the time I publish this. And it makes you wonder, like, what is this petition for? Because, hey, I'm pretty familiar with those. I made one about ending Kotaku. What's this one all about? Oh, they want to stop the cultural appropriation and whitewashing on MiHoYo's games, because that's really bad from Eastern games, especially coming from China, because China is always going to be one of those places that would definitely cave and crack to DEI practices, right? Something like that. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down this interesting conspiracy theory. And shout out to Hypnotic, a channel that I've been watching religiously lately. This channel is fantastic, and if you're not familiar with them, definitely check them out.
Smash JT.
I can't shake the feeling that it's happening again. We're potentially witnessing yet another extortion attempt in the gaming industry. DEI consultancy groups, particularly those like Sweet Baby Inc., have openly admitted to wanting to terrify marketing teams into hiring them. They say it right out in the open, extremely blunt and fearless of any repercussions. They'll threaten and do anything they can to tarnish a company's reputation if it refuses their services, all in a bid to secure a payday to fix the problem that they themselves have created in the first place. Now, this situation doesn't necessarily call out a specific DEI company in particular, but it is curious. This recent petition against Genshin Impact screams the theory loud and clear, with 75,000 or so signatures at the time of this publication. Aventurine of Stratagems was the one who created the petition and aims to, and I quote, "We call on MiHoYo to stop cultural appropriation and whitewashing in their games and to commit to respectful and accurate representation of all cultures." I mean, this is one of those things that I guess a few years ago would fly because it would be so under the radar with people. Like, oh yeah, sounds like a good idea with good intentions because of cultural appropriation and we don't want whitewashing. But in reality, this is a business venture. This is an attack on a company to make sure they start using inclusivity, diversity, and equity to bring in a consulting company for their services and have to pay them. Interestingly enough, when I look into the person or persons or group, whoever Aventurine Stratagems is creating this, their profile on change.org, first of all, what kind of gamer says this? When you see people who look like you on TV, in films, or in video games, it makes you feel accepted. That is not a gamer. That no one says that. That's so weird to say that. They follow Black Girl Gamers among a bunch of other interesting and questionable accounts. And make of that what you will. I just found it very, once again, curious that this is the person behind this petition. But how does it work? Like, what is this insidious nature that these companies do? Well, as we already talked about in a previous video with what Sweet Baby Inc. was doing with the Black Myth Wukong game from Game Science, and how they're potentially in cahoots with the Nose Ring Mafia to push an agenda because they potentially turned down Sweet Baby Inc. or another DEI firm in order to get their game out and not need them. It seems to be happening all over again. One of the main demands in this petition is to engage with indigenous cultural consultants. It's a classic tactic to get a foot in the door. By claiming the game needs to consult with indigenous experts, these groups position themselves as the necessary intermediary. It's a surefire way to start a relationship with the company and open the floodgates for more demands. Kinda like how the mafia works. And you might hear me say that a couple more times here. Then the demand to revise existing content to ensure accurate representation. It's not about fixing a few character designs or storylines. It's a complete overhaul that requires extensive consultation and guidance. And I'll give you one guess who's in a perfect position to offer that guidance. I mean, come on, we already know. It's a clever way to create a problem that only they can solve, ensuring long-term involvement and continuous payments. But here's where it gets good. Finally, they call for a commitment to creating diverse and inclusive characters. This demand is a long-term strategy to keep themselves embedded within the game's development process. By insisting on ongoing consultations to ensure future content meets their standards, DEI groups can secure a steady stream of revenue. This isn't just about one game or an update, it's about establishing a permanent presence and influence over the company's creative direction. It's insidious, it's abhorrent, it's financially genius. If you're working for one of these companies, you have a payday for life if this system works. The first demand reeks of a consultancy group's handiwork. It's like how the mafia operates when it comes to, we can be an insurance to make sure your window doesn't get broken. Pay us money and that window won't get broken. And if you don't pay him that money, guess what you're going to show up to the next day at work? Then a new Twitter account pops up, rallying angry fans to retweet and support the boycott of Genshin's owner, MiHoYo. The same account then posts the do's and don'ts list for the boycott, providing detailed instructions on how you should proceed. Something is definitely off here. It seems almost like these DEI consultancy firms are desperate to get MiHoYo to hire them because they know Genshin Impact is extremely successful. Convincing MiHoYo to utilize their services could equate to a massive paycheck for whichever company manages to pull it off. And like I said, most of the information that I got from this video is coming from Hypnotic, who did a fantastic breakdown on a live stream the other day talking about what was going on. And it really perked my ears up because I'm like, holy crap, this is following a blueprint of extortion. Hypnotic on Twitter said, "Conspiracy time. I don't know if it's just me, but I can't shake the feeling that we are witnessing yet another extortion attempt. DEI consultancy groups, especially Sweet Baby Inc., have admitted to wanting to terrify marketing teams over the company not wanting to hire DEI consultants. They will literally threaten and do anything they can to ruin the image of a company that doesn't want to hire them, all in an attempt to get money to fix the problem that they personally create. This recent petition against Genshin Impact screams this theory through and through. Just look at their demands. Engage in indigenous cultural consultants. Revise existing content to ensure accurate representation. Commit to creating diverse and inclusive characters. The first demand screams to me, obviously coming from a consultancy group. Then a new account on Twitter pops up that is trying to get the angry fans to retweet it and use it to help boycott MiHoYo. That same account then posts the picture below, showing do's and don'ts during the boycott, giving instructions. Something sus is going on here. It seems diversity consultancy firms are desperate to get MiHoYo to hire them because they know Genshin Impact is extremely successful, and they can get a fat check if MiHoYo is convinced to utilize them, whichever company that may be. Either that, or it's just another example of wokies hating Eastern content, yet not being able to stay away from playing it because it's so much better than their Western BS. Either way, super sus, cuh. And regardless of if this is DEI and Sweet Baby Inc. is behind all of it or one of those related consultancy groups, the point is it just smells off. Like, it's very odd that somebody is just randomly upset because of whitewashing and stopping cultural appropriation in a game. Like, they care that much about it. And oh, by the way, when I was doing some research on it, I noticed that this wasn't the first time that it happened. It's just the first time that it's gained traction, which is very interesting. Back on June 30th, 2022, there was a petition on change.org called "Make MiHoYo Give Us Proper Representation. Fix Sumeryu Characters." But that petition only got 392 signatures and then just died off, which makes me wonder, What makes this one any different? What is the push behind it? Why is it growing so rapidly? And the only answer I can come to is that there's another force pushing it from behind. At least that's how I feel when it comes to this conspiracy theory. Learning the Law on Twitter said, "Congratulations, you've managed to live long enough to see China providing you with high-quality cinematic experiences on your phone, while Japan offers you $70 cash grab, censored, or DEI-approved content. ESG is truly the enemy of the people." But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. I will link it in the description below. If you appreciate what I'm doing, please consider hitting that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Smash, J,